Hope you had a good holiday. Yes?
What did you get for Christmas, Cal?
Steeler pajamas and slippers and a watch and what else? Coal and it's not all bad when you get coal when you're from Kentucky. Listen, I said walking in, I said, my hands are cold. I just walked in the hallway.
Cal, did you really drop $65 in a claw machine?
No, I would never. I am too cheap to drop that much money, but we were there. My two kids walked to the boardwalk, which is a couple miles, and I told my wife, it was too cold. I'm not walking, but I'll drive up there and we can meet them. So we met them on the boardwalk, and it was open. There was no one on the boardwalk. I can't believe it was open, but it was. And yeah, I think Brad won something, but the claw, it's a good thing, because you do end up paying $65 for a quarter bear.
Cal, I think out the UCLA game, Cal, where 50-50 balls.
Got beat to everything.
I'm wondering if you like a rivalry game to ditch people.
I don't know. I mean, we're going to see. We had no aggressiveness. We showed them the 12 threes that they made, and they were like, we didn't guard them. I mean, it was a set shot, but we weren't aggressive on the ball. We weren't aggressive going after balls. We weren't aggressive going. It kind of reminds me of last year when we beat Arizona State by a bunch, and we come back and play UCLA here and get up 12 and should have put the game away, and all of a sudden you look around and it's anybody's game and they end up beating us in the second half. Very similar. This team defensively, we still have a couple guys that aren't desperate enough, similar to last year. And, we followed that UCLA game up with, I hate to tell you, a game that we went to Louisville and lost and got beat to every ball there. And so, it's when do you get the importance of coming up with balls that you defend together. When I told him yesterday, when the house is burning, everybody gets it. Like, you either get the fire or you get the smoke, but you're getting it. And we got to come together and know that we got to defend better. We got to be more aggressive. We got to make easy plays. Again, I come back to when you don't want to grind it, you got to make a layup look difficult because you want to be the hero plays every fifth time down the floor. Versus, I'm just laying this in, I got to add. The pass, instead of just throwing it to the guy, I got to look away, take a bounce, and then throw it sideways. I don't want to grind it out every possession. And it takes time to break through that. And but we had a good practice yesterday, and we'll see if we have a good one today.
How will Rick Pitino's absence affect this game at all?
I don't think my guys, one way or another, So for us, it'll be, you're playing a game after a loss, and you're playing a game after Christmas. Let's see how we perform. And I don't think it's for us. My guys, if you ask them, I don't think they'd. Knowing my guys, they don't even know. They may go into the game, where is he? If I didn't show, they probably wouldn't even know I wasn't there.
Is there something good about that? The distraction?
I don't know. After the UCLA game, I would say no. But prior to that, it's young guys sometimes. That's a good thing.
Now, how did you guys look at coming back from the Christmas break?
We're okay. We had a good practice yesterday.
What was your message to the guys as soon as they got back from break?
Hope you had a great time with your family. And now we get back to work. Let's get better. Told them I wasn't mad about the game. I don't think in those terms. I'm not angry with anybody. I'm not mad. My thing is, how do I get them to play different? And if they're unaggressive, then I created a culture that was unaggressive. If they're not beating anybody to 50-50 balls, that is a culture that's been created. Well, that's my job to change that culture and get them back to being aggressive and attacking and being a scrap kind of game. And sometimes it's one after the other. The other thing is I thought you win some games, then you get arrogant and you revert back. And so those are all things that I've got to keep in check. And I told him, I'm not mad. I'm asking questions of myself. Are you asking questions of yourself? There's the one that when you're young, you're not ready for, and you love hearing alibis, that they'll alibi for you and how you played. Everybody there, I said, if you didn't play well, raise your hand. They all did except for Wenyon, and I thought Wenyon played well. Everyone else was like, some guys no-showed. I said, we played a game last year, and Malik no-showed us. Like, went from 47 to a goose egg. What? I mean, these are young kids. They're not computers, and just try to get them in a fighting mode and see if that is good enough. May not be. The tape I'm watching, I think David's doing a great job with this team. He's putting them in great positions and situations, and they've had a lot of battles, and most of them they've won. A couple of them they should have won. The two they lost, they probably should have won. They had the games real late, had a chance. Big guy, the returning players are all playing well. They're making shots. When they make shots, they beat you big. But they won games without making shots, where they made 4, 5, 6 threes.
Cal, is this team sort of, pushing an idea on you of more zone? Because
I don't think they want to, but, like I said, there are times that we're going to have to play zone. We're big and long, but you can't look at zone as a way of backing up. You're looking at zone as a way of disrupting, of changing the pace, of changing. And we had played zone earlier. That's how we played. In that game, we kind of got lucky. We weren't as aggressive. We weren't. We gave up a 3 in the corner. We gave up some other shots. They just happened to miss. You got to play zone harder than you play man. And you have to talk more in the zone than you do in the man. And we're still learning that. But we're still, like I said, experimenting, both offensively and defensively, trying some different presses. Again, you cannot press unless you're aggressive. UCLA, we were 3 steps from the guy. So he stood there and like, what? Just threw to that guy. What? He threw to that guy. I mean, you got to be up in him and occupy his eyes. You got to occupy the guy's eyes so he's not looking around. These guys were like, who? That man. I mean, literally, when I watched it, I was like, oh, my gosh. And, again, then that's a culture that I've accepted. So, like I said, I don't. Like, I'm not mad at anybody. We're a young team and stuff happens, and hopefully it was a one-off. But we're finding out because we play this one, and guess what? We start league on Sunday. So this stuff comes, and then we got 2 road games, and they're waiting in the weeds for us, those 2 teams. And then we play that. I mean, this thing comes real fast now.
Cal, are you doing anything different in practice to get that intensity back? Is everything the same with you, or are you saying, okay, I need to tweak a little bit too? Sorry if you need to tweak.
No, I mean, part of it is doing drills and playing more to make them more competitive. Instead of, you just think about the guys that I coach here, that I have to get you to play. I thought you want to do this for a living. And I got to get you to play? Then you're kidding yourself. No. You're going to play, but it's YMCA. It ain't going to be NBA. You got to want this. It ain't me pushing you. Now, my thing is let's put in the drills, let's put in the competitiveness to let them get after each other. And again, these, they don't play great. I mean, we all forget last year some of the games we didn't play great. And especially early, we weren't a great defensive team. By the end of the year, we were one of the best defensive teams in the country. Early in the year, we were doing the same thing this team's doing. But like I said, this is a great challenge, and I don't know how football teams do it where you play one day and you got a week to have to deal with what just happened. It stinks. I'd rather play back-to-back. Just play. Let's get that last one out of our mouth.
John, this is arguably the biggest game of the year as it is every year. How do you feel about having to share the spotlight with the football
This game is, well, I mean, there may be in some minds, it's not my mind, the biggest game of the year. The last game ends up being the biggest game, that game as you go forward. But I hope the football team wins. I hope we win. But both of us are up against it. It's going to be hard. And I'm happy for what they've been able to do. I think it's a great bowl, and it's great for our fans that we're playing on the same day. I mean, I guess we had to do it. Didn't know what was going to happen with football and where the bowl would fall. So you just put a schedule together and it happened to fall there. But, you know, I'm excited for Mark and what he's done. I'm excited for the recruiting. I'm happy that they had an early signing period where they could get some guys in check and know who they're going to have, which is a big deal.
A couple more guys.
John, if you play zone, how concerned are you about defensive rebounding?
Well, you should be fine because you're rebounding areas. What happened in the last game, again, a couple balls went back toward where the guards should have been, and our guards weren't there. They were out of position. But we should be because of our length. But, again, we're playing a team that really goes after the glass, and they're long. They're big as we are. They're as long as we are.
What's the latest on Jerry Vanderbilt? How's he doing?
Hadn't started practicing, so I think I saw that he was working out individually. But he has not started, and haven't asked him. We'll see if when he is going to be capable of doing that.
David Patterson in his first Louisville, Kentucky game. You've been there as first year head coach here. What was that moment like? Your first Louisville, Kentucky game?
Boy, that was a long time ago. Was it at our place or at their place?
Yes. I think it was here. Yes, it was. Aaron Bledsoe, they tried to push him around, and he said, don't try to push him around.
Yeah. That's not the good guy to push around. You know, the one thing you found out in that game, you're not intimidating. You're not going to intimidate us, and we're not trying to intimidate you. It's not how I coach, but that wasn't working. And it became two teams fighting like crazy, and every game has been a great game. You know, two scrappy teams that are playing, and, you know, it's always a good game.
How impressed are you with Louisville in terms of how things have got to come together for them with the absence of Patino, Patrick having taken over their record? How impressed are you?
No, I am. I think David's done a great job. You know, they're pressing. They're doing some of the things that he's learned. Some of the zone stuff is the same. They're pressing at times out of it. Some of the man stuff is the same, but some of it's his own. And some of the stuff that he's using is really creative stuff. It's good. And it plays to his team. So, yeah, I think he's doing a good job. Really do.
All right, folks,
Thanks.
Guys, just a heads up on